Welcome
Welcome.
to Wednesday night standard fights, brought to you by Top Deck Productions here in Mason, Ohio.
Which
Beautiful
is
Mason,
a
Ohio.
northern suburb of Cincinnati.
Would you stop it with the northern suburb of Cincinnati?
Somebody thought we were in like Wisconsin one time. I just gotta clarify.
Yeah, Mason, Ohio. That's how you clarify.
Google it.
Google it. Anyway, I'm excited to be here. Taylor's excited to be here.
Am I?
Yeah, you're rocking like a semi.
Anyway, this Mardu Reanimator deck is a new one on the scene.
It is a new one on the scene. This blue-red spells deck is not really new, but it's an interesting one. We went and picked a pretty decent one for round one.
Yeah.
A little
good
off
job.
the beaten path. I think we're going to have a more streamlined rest of the tournament. So we'll start off strong and see
Start
how
off
it goes
with some
from here.
Spice. Yeah, I mean,
I'd love for this Mardu Reanimator deck to succeed.
in life or just in this match.
Yeah, I hope everybody succeeds in life.
I want something to beat this green-black Delirium deck in standard. I want
The window is closing.
I want something to rise up.
Rise up!
Here's what's really going to tell the tale, I think, is this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
The Star City Games Invitational's happening.
Oh my, that's this weekend.
Correct.
This weekend.
In beautiful Atlanta, Georgia.
Whew, wish I was there.
Me too. That was a fun trip last time we went.
That
to
was a
Atlanta.
great trip. If you guys get the opportunity to go to Atlanta, Georgia for a Magic tournament, I would recommend going.
Yeah.
Thank you for going to the overhead so I don't have to look at that kid in the background anymore.
Whoa. Aggressive.
Aggressive.
Anyway, these invitationals, man, everybody that's playing in them is, somebody who's choosing to. They've played in a Magic tournament before this to get to this Magic tournament, and they're gonna choose like the best deck. And so I think if a deck can rise up this weekend and beat Green Black Delirium on a regular basis, this is the only opportunity it has.
Sure. There is a deck that has risen up that allegedly has a 95-5 matchup against Green-Black Delirium.
This Aetherworks deck?
Yeah, Red-Green Aetherworks. The person who's kind of pioneered the deck is on record saying it has a 95-5 matchup for Green-Black Delirium.
It's quite a bit. So Seth spends turn one churning through some cards with a...
Turn 2. If only that was turn 1.
Oh, I'm sorry. With a Cathartic Reunion. No Spirit Guides tonight, huh?
Absolutely not.
All right, here we go. I think we're
And
going
we're
to see
much better
some...
off for it.
Just a pass.
So in the yard we have a Noxious Gear Hulk and a Filigree Familiar.
Okay. Is he going to refurbish one of these?
I think that's the plan next turn.
It's too bad Noxious Gearhawk doesn't have any targets.
Yeah, no targets on the Noxious Gear Hulk, but it's still, a 5/4 menace.
Sure. Let's see what he chooses.
Also, just swing for 2 is solid here.
I think he could take a turn off and advance his board a little bit.
He doesn't really have anything to advance. This is his board advancement.
Okay. Well, no, I mean like you could play another Cathartic Reunion to try and get more in your bin or something like that.
Sure. So here's Refurbished. That's what he's using to bring these artifacts back from the graveyard to the battlefield.
It's basically Zombify for artifacts.
Yeah.
So he zombified this artifact creature. Sheeler's up to 4 mana. Nobody's missed a land drop yet. And Seth is the first to really break the ice with his Haymaker spell.
Yeah, I mean...
Alright.
We're just going to take big chunks out of Brice's life total here.
Yeah, and so there aren't a lot of... I guess a Harness Lightning does kill it here since he has the additional energy from the Aether Hub. But bouncing this card isn't very good. He just recasts it.
So bouncing it isn't too bad because he has to pay 6 mana to cast it.
Right.
Versus, spending extra resources to kill it.
Right. Alright, so he
Not
chooses...
willing to spend that energy. He must have other plans for it.
Alright, so...
Mendon, which Billy Dredgeless do you want? The Hakan one or the regular one? Hoken, sorry.
Hoken the Broken, obviously.
Obviously. Oh, so the Hoken one.
Okay. So we're going to play Hoken the Broken here.
I think he plays a pretty stock Dredgeless.
Yeah. Oh, man.
2 Conflagrates.
Cathartic Reunion's discarding Refurbish.
Yeah, I mean, he's got enough mana to just cast Gearhulks now. Why does he need them in the yard?
You're right. All right.
Oh, he's going to draw 2 cards after scrying 2 cards.
Get 2 energy. I don't know about you, but when I cast a spell like this, it has 3 parts. I try and do them in order.
Do you?
Well, that way you don't get, like, you don't start thinking and, like, oh, did I add the energy or not? And then, like, miss it, or maybe...
Thinks that. I don't think that's ever happened.
It must be I have the ADD real bad, so... So he's looking at Lightning Axe and Land?
Neither of which are acceptable here.
Really? See, I would pull off a Lightning Axe. I wouldn't even think about it.
So he can kill this Noxious Gearhulk.
Yeah, but what you want is you want to be able to kill it twice. I don't know if this... I imagine a deck that's relying on putting an artifact creature into play and just taking that for the win plays Built to Last, which gives the artifact creature indestructible. So if you have a backup spell...
I think that's a pretty big stretch.
Is it?
Yeah. To think that we'd be playing Built to Last?
Okay, so
That's
my whole goal, my 100% of my goal is to put a Gearhulk into the graveyard and refurbish it. That's a game plan.
That's a game plan.
And you don't think I would play one... You don't think I would play a spell to protect the game plan?
No, I mean, you are playing a spell to protect the game plan. It's Refurbish 3 through 4. And Gearhulk 2 through 12.
Sure.
I also saw an Ever After in his hand.
Oh.
That's a good next step to get to.
Man.
Uh-oh. Looks like we might see that now.
See if he was... If he's Built to Last there, it buys him a whole turn.
Yeah, I mean, if he has this very narrow card.
You act like there's 0 removal spells. Every deck in the format is going to have removal spells.
Sure, but you have to have the Built to Last when they have the removal spell. And you have to have the mana open.
People are playing Blossoming Defense.
I mean, it's a little bit different when you're Blossoming Defense like a 2/2 instead of like a 6/6. So if you're going to tap 6 to cast your guy, having the extra one's a much bigger deal than casting guy for 2 and then having the 3rd mana.
I don't think it's a completely ridiculous thought process.
I don't think it's completely ridiculous either.
So Ever After here?
I'm on board. He's only getting a Filigree Familiar, which I think is his issue here.
So one time I had a limited deck that featured Ever After.
Just another Gearhulk. We don't need the Ever After this turn.
Casual. That featured an Ever After and a Duskwatch Familiar.
Oh my.
With those 2 cards, you can put your entire library into play.
Nice.
Or at least all the creatures in it.
Sure.
That was a nice one. Also, Ever After prevents you from ever being decked.
Unless it gets milled.
Correct. Alright. Here's the Dynavolt Tower. Now, this card can go a long way.
So, this tower is probably going to take down...
A Gearhulk here?
I don't know that it can, so... Yeah, he can, but he's going to have to spend his Harness Lightning. And, like, all the energy in the world.
Yep, alright.
All the energy in the world has been spent.
Yep. 100% of the energy available in
Oh,
the
he's got a combustible Gearhulk now. We're just going to chain off Gearhulks until he doesn't have removal for him.
Okay. So this is interesting for Brice. If he plays his combustible Gearhulk, just letting him have the cards might be a plan.
Sure.
Because you want a full hand over there?
Oh, that makes sense. Maybe the time to pull the trigger on this Ever After is now. Does Noxious Gearhulk read?
Here's the Ever After. Oh, man. So he reanimates 2 Noxious Gearhulks, which makes me noxious. Aye. Aye.
Draws another Harness Lightning. So one day, these Gearhulks will not be a problem.
Right.
But today is not that day.
Today's not the day. Alright. I think you start with a Cathartic Reunion here.
He can kill both of them. He has...
He has the power.
He has the technology. But I agree, it does start with Cathartic Reunion. In the tank here. I think he's debating between playing the Torrential Gearhulk, which is the wrong call, and pitching 2 lands to this Cathartic Reunion, which is the right call.
Yeah, that's where I'd be.
So if you cast the Torrential Gearhulk, you can actually kill one of these things, but then you're going to get 5'd and you can't block, and you turn on all the removal in the world. Whereas that's the only thing that's really keeping you in this game.
It's the fact that half the cards in Seth's hand are dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely. If you're Brice, you definitely want to play this game on the stack.
Does he have a Radiant Flames here? He does have to pay an energy for that.
All right.
To get black.
Yeah, I think he's on 4 energy.
So he should be on 4 energy currently.
Okay. We'll follow up with the Harness Lightning. Alright, yeah, so he's going to use the Harness Lightning in combination with the Dynavolt Tower to take down the 2 Gearhulks.
Little does he know, here's another Gearhulk.
And just for your approval, another Gearhulk. Nope. Yep. I'm just picking which one.
I think he's only got the one. I mean, yeah, you draw 3 cards. You're gonna take 2 damage.
You gotta end the game. Alright. So let's see if Seth's going to get 3 cards or Brice is going to take approximately 1 billion damage.
I know where my money is at.
In a deck featuring 6 drops, I'm very hesitant. And there's a lot of them. We're talking about, looks probably 4 Noxious Gearhulks, 4 Ever Afters.
Sure.
It's too damn high.
It's quite high.
The average converted mana cost is too damn high.
Sure. If I didn't have Fevered Visions in my hand, I'd probably mill him 3 here. It might be wrong.
Sure.
I haven't run the numbers.
All right. I didn't see which card, what mode he picked there. He didn't.
The draw 3.
Life total didn't change. He puts 3 cards in his hand. All right.
All right. So can he kill a combustible Gearhulk? He has the Torrential Gearhulk in hand.
He just ended the turn. So Torrential Gearhulk's going to probably recast one of these Harness Lightnings. Alright, here comes a Torrent. Alright. So Unlicensed Disintegration is going to deal 3 extra damage here.
Alright, so Brice goes down to 12.
Harness Lightning gets the Gearhulk down.
Another Ever After, or Refurbish here. Both are insane.
Right.
He's got a couple Filigree Familiars, it looks like. I'm cool just running those bad boys out.
Oh, yeah. Just get them out of the hand. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, gain 4. He goes up to 18.
Force him to deal with these.
Yeah, and that puts him to 3 cards in hand. Which, 4 cards in hand. So he's not quite out of range for this Fever Visions yet. Down to 16.
I mean, being at 16 is fine for an extra card a turn. It's all good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that Seth has another way to get cards into his yard.
Yeah, lots of interesting avenues here.
4 mana.
I
No mana.
find it interesting we found a home for Filigree Familiar in Standard.
I don't know that it's that great here. Like, it's just kind of a curve filler.
It's probably really good against the black-green decks.
What's it do against the black-green decks?
Like, if you can block a Grim Flayer, like if you're on the play, it blocks their Grim Flayer attacking on their turn 3.
Sure.
And if they're gonna spend like their...
It's really good if you've got it built to last, because you can give it indestructible.
+2/+2, so it can block a Delirium powered Grim Flayer there.
Yeah, it's pretty good value there.
All right. Brice has a Glimmer of Genius.
Scry 2. The Scry is Island, another Glimmer, looks like. The draw is Glimmer and Tormenting Voice.
Alright, he's going to go up to 6.
So he can spend 5 energy to bolt one of these Filigree Familiars down.
Probably wouldn't do that.
Doesn't sound like a winning strategy, but
no,
you got to do what you got to do.
I don't know that you straight up like turn the corner, quote unquote, here, but if I were Brice, I would be interested in going to work on Seth's life total.
He's at 16.
I don't know. Is there like a burn from within, or
I mean, that's
one of the
a standard
spells?
legal card.
Right, one of the X. I'm in a deck that's trying to burn somebody out. You don't think like Fireball's a card you want to play?
No, not really.
All right. Well, just really wrong about how you should construct a standard deck. I'm glad I'm wearing this microphone, not trying to win any matches out there.
Another Gearhulk.
All right. He's interested in leaving
As
black mana available.
much mana as possible open.
All right. I think the problem here is that we haven't seen a lot of like counter spells from Brice, and if you're gonna fill your opponent's hand up that way, especially like on these big 6 mana spells, like you need a Void Shatter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's not where most standard decks are. So his main deck isn't designed to beat something like this. Another filigree familiar. Man.
Man, a Radiant Flames to mop these things up would be choice. Alright, so we're not going to see a Radiant Flames because he's spending Dynavolt Tower energy on his Filigree Familiar there.
Looks like he's got a Nahiri. Seems like a pretty good way to fill up the yard.
Sure. Yeah, that's exactly the kind of card this deck wants, is you drawing and discarding and letting you get a lot of juicy targets for Everafter and draw into Everafter, so.
Sure.
So the question is can he continue to play things? And
the answer is no. Once Seth discards, that's it.
Right. Once you let your opponent get to the point where they're discarding, that's the very, very last thing of the turn. So a card that hit the graveyard there was Cataclysmic Gearhulk.
Yeah, that one's pretty disappointing.
Concur.
If we didn't already need white for the refurbish, I wouldn't be too thrilled about that one in the deck, but here we are.
Yep. Right,
Double the
Dynavolt.
Dynavolt. This could be tough to get through.
Yeah, this is a nice one.
Actually, Nahiri does a pretty good job of fighting through these.
Yeah.
So if he swings in with Cathartic, not Cathartic, this Gearhulk. Which one's the red one? Forget the
Cataclysmic.
name. Cataclysmic. I knew it started with a C.
Or no, I'm sorry, Combustible. Cataclysmic.
Combustible. I knew it started with a C still.
Concur.
Can swing in, force him to double Dynavolt here, and then you can Nahiri one of them away. You leave Nahiri open to a Dynavolt trigger on your opponent's turn.
Sure.
But he's just dead to these Filigree Familiars.
Here's 6.
Oh, this is bad news.
So he's got to pick a target for this Harness Lightning. Yep, so it puts Brice to 1 after it all shakes out. 3 from the unlicensed integration, and 4 more from the Filigree Familiars. And
I like
that's
just
a very
playing,
low life total.
Playing in a Gearhulk here seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh man, he has the Shambling Vent.
Alright, so
I think that's a pan. No, that's a. I thought that Noxious Gearhulk was a Panharmonicon. Because he had his finger over the actual Gearhulk.
yeah.
I don't like this play. I mean, it's probably fine.
Yeah, I think he's going to win this game either way. So he needs, I mean, so here's a refurbish. All right. And
Scoops him up.
Brice doesn't even want to see. I want to see what the next card is.
All right.
Oh my gosh. What was even the point? I didn't realize you guys were both going to drop after one round. I would have said let's do something else.
All right, so let's see
All right.
what kind of sideboard Brice Sheeler can manage. We know there's no graveyard hate.
Concur.
There's literally nothing available. Not just in these colors, but just literal nothing.
Right. Shambleback?
Shambleback.
Is that the card I'm thinking of?
Yeah, but I ain't no Shambleback girl.
Concur. You're not a girl at all.
Did you just assume my gender?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Well, I'm offended.
Well, judging by the beard,
I'll try to get through the rest of this
the
round.
back hair, and the beard gut.
There's a couple patches of back hair.
Yeah, that's the worst kind of back hair. All right, so Seth's going to probably take out some of this targeted removal.
I think the Radiant Flames are the first to go.
Okay, so the non-targeted removal.
The non-targeted removal's first.
Probably bringing in some build to last.
I don't think that's
not actually happening?
I don't think that's on the menu today.
All right.
Who knows? This isn't an established archetype. There could be anything in this deck.
Right. This blue-red spells deck, however, I think he knows.
He's bringing in the Delirium package, so Void Shatters, Spell Shrivels.
Yeah. All the things that counter
the biggins.
The biggins. Because the Mardu Reanimator deck's literally just mono haymakers.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm going to cast the biggest thing every turn, and hope it gets there.
Sure.
Which is a cool strategy. I love playing this.
Brice
strategy.
also probably taking out his Radiant Flames.
Oh, yeah?
Also seems pretty bad here.
Sure. There were several turns there where Radiant Flames would have been, like, a good card to have.
Yeah. Doesn't make it a good card in the matchup, though.
Okay. You think Seth keeps the Filigree Familiars in just to...
Oh, sure.
Filigree out his curve?
Haha. Yeah, he probably does.
Right.
It's a good way to make him, like, use a burn spell or something.
I would have said let's do something else. I didn't realize you both were just gonna drop the one loss.
Alright. Shuffling up here. Do you think the spells deck, I mean, that was a pretty decisive win.
Mm-hmm.
Brice was on the back foot almost the whole time.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like this spells deck doesn't have much of a chance.
So depends on what his board is. If he brings in like 8-ish counter spells, so he absolutely needs a negate for the first Reanimator spell.
Right.
And then he needs like 1 or 2 other counter spells to deal with the subsequent Gear Hulks that'll come afterwards.
Right.
But if he has that, and he has like one of his engines online, he can win this.
Sure.
It's a bit uphill.
I'm interested in this Tormenting Voice over Cathartic Reunion.
I mean, he probably runs both.
Sure.
So Mardu Reanimator keeps 7. Brice Sheeler on Blue Red Spells keeps 7.
Here we go.
2 land.
It's an energy here.
If he remembers his trigger.
This is one of those cards that, like, in playtesting, it's very easy to be like, oh, just, you know, whatever, the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
But in real life, you have to remember that.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like sometimes playtesting happens very fast, and I mean, I shortcut stuff like that all the time.
Robert Royd. I definitely agree that Collective Brutality would be great for filling that yard.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a cool card. Here's a Transgress the Mind. And he takes the Fevered Visions.
So 1 Fevered Vision's not a big deal. 2 Fevered Visions.
Big deal.
Getting dangerous. No 3rd land for Brice. That could just be the game right there.
Yep. After.
So the good thing about... Oh, man. Still no 3rd land. This is very bad.
This isn't good. This is where, like, a Tormenting Voice is just, like, really good. There's a Filigree Familiar turn late.
Filigree Familiar's never late. Still no 3rd land. And in turn, we get a Madness as Fiery Temper, though.
If he knows that that's a thing.
Filigree Familiar down.
Draws the card.
Seth gets to draw a card. Brice gets to stay alive a little bit longer.
Seth laughs at him.
Yeah, mockingly.
Mockingly.
Nice third land. Still no third land.
Yeah, so you gotta cast, like, I mean, I cast, like, Harness Lightning here instead of discarding it.
Yeah. I don't agree with that.
Yep, you should just cast that spell. Just let him cycle the card.
2.
Alright, so Seth, not on the 6th land.
Man, misses the 6th land. How unlucky.
There's the 3rd familiar. Seth's pretty familiar with how that card works.
Yeah, he's drawn 6 of them in 2 games.
Alright.
Still no 8th land, but we got to run back the old tricky. Discard the Fiery Temper. I don't know why these Fiery Tempers are still in. I mean, I guess they speed up your clock when you have a Dynavolt Tower. You get energy. You shoot him in the face.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I mean, it's a burn deck. You wanna eliminate them from the game.
Yeah, I think your definition of burn deck is a bit more loose than mine.
Is it wide?
Perhaps.
Yeah, I'm probably, wrong on that one too.
All right, so we do have 3 mana now. I guess we got a Dynavolt here.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta... Oh,
Okay.
All right. It's not what I would have done, but I guess he's trying to draw into more land. Literally, the only way you can win this game is if he draws land for the rest of his draw steps.
I don't know that that does it.
I think he needs every draw step to be a land.
For
An
now,
untapped land at that.
Until forever. Take the damage. Take the damage.
Take it. Take the burn. Burn for 1,000, Alex.
Don't give him these cards.
Burn. Burn him out.
Oh, he gave him the cards.
Yeah. I don't think he's ever going to be able to keep up now. Not a land. Not good enough.
Guess you gotta cast the Dynavolt Tower here and get down to 6.
Yeah, so the puzzle Brice finds himself in is like a way to... He needs to get more out of every spell than there is. So like Lightning Axe, discarding this Fiery Temper would be
Just
enough.
scooping him up.
All right.
Does not see an out.
Yeah.
And he's probably right.
Yeah, that's just some magic right there. Is that you get
Some good old-fashioned bad draws.
Yeah, man. Welcome to Magic the Gathering.
We'll get him on later to talk about his bad beats. Everybody likes hearing about it.
Yeah, that sounds like the worst thing ever. We got about 20 minutes here. We're gonna go sniff the room out, see what's out there.
Robert Royd, you don't give him the cards. If you eat 2 Emeralds and whatever, you die. Most of the time, you should just take the damage, kill their guy, and move on.
Yeah.
If somebody flipped double Emrakul after I gave them the cards, or after I
I'd
told
just
them to
shake
mill,
their hand.
I'd just be like, yeah, you got me, buddy.
Be like, next Coke's on me after that one.